Yeah, that sounds about right.
Let's hope that all translate okay. Get Alrighty, I think I posted a recap in the channel.
Yes.
I believe we last left off, on our way, well, have we talked to Hlin, or have we, are we going to talk to her now? Cannot remember.
We were about to leave, I think.
Alrighty. I think all that's good.
Her
Audio's fine. Okay.
party was missing.
Do it now.
The party was missing. Helene's party.
Oh, yeah. And everyone's online. Good, good, good. Alrighty. So yeah, we all hit level 2. I'm not sure if you all got your levels done or not. But,
I believe so.
yeah. I believe we had, met Helene at the docks or somewhere along the way, and, she was needing help across the ice. She's not, as able as she used to be. Notes. Oh yeah, she had mentioned she wanted to go to an old fishing shack up the skirts of town. This is the last place she heard of her party, and we had just talked to Speaker Deneth. He's needs a few days to gather the money. It's gone. I think he promised you all quite a sum.
500 gold piece jewels.
Yeah, quite a bit. It's not easy to come by too, so he's getting that gathered up for you. Not to mention your all's whatever y'all got from the lost treasure chest as well, which is pretty nice. I'm not sure if you all have split that up yet or not. But the old fisher shack is not that far from here. Just a little alcove where the water is frozen over, just across the way, and you can actually see it from the docks. But it's a little out of the way. There you go. But let's see. Helene will meet you at the docks. Go ahead.
We had a rest already.
Yeah, you had a long rest.
We were in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, you leveled up through the night, and the very next morning you talked to Deneth, and he talked to you all about talked to you about getting the money gathered together. All right, Lane Trollbane. Actually, spelled her name right too. All right, seeing your party kind of approach, and already kind of informing you where she wants to go, she'll just kind of clap her hands and stand up, using her cane to kind of support her. Just, oh, good. You all come to escort me across the ice.
Eisen nods.
All right, this old fisherman's shack. I heard it used to belong to the good old captain. I got the same voice anyway. The good old captain. This is where I figured that I found they last were to meet someone. Shall we go?
Yeah, just
Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, lead the way. Just kind of points over to the shack. I don't have a map for this shack, but it doesn't take long to get there. The ice is, of course, ice, so taking your time, and Hlin is having a bit of trouble as well. She nearly slips and falls a few times, even with her crampons. You get the feeling she's a little bit older than what she tries to let on. Let's see. When you arrive, you see just a little old shack, kind of a makeshift dock pier, kind of built there. A little bit of a fishing stand, if that one thing such exists. But outside the shack, you do see two sleds. There are no dogs attached to it, and one of them is smashed in.
Are there tracks leading from the sleds? Like tracks brought them here?
None that you can see. Seems it's been a while, so the whatever was tracks were left behind are not covered up.
I see.
Want to go ahead?
I was gonna say, can we see if the door to the shack is open or shut?
It is shut.
Alright, Mavis is gonna try to just open the door. Let's go inside.
Alrighty, the door is not locked, but when you push against it, something on the side offers a bit of resistance. Like something has fallen in front of it. Nothing too heavy, but there's something on the other side of the door.
Just gonna try to push.
Carefully, we don't know what's behind it.
It just looks like a bookcase that's falling over. Help me push.
I will help. Alright, yeah, and Katerina will lend a hand and help Mavis push the door.
Alrighty, with both of you together, you get to push it quite well. No real strength check needed. With the two of you together, when you push, it gets drug along with it, and when you push it open and look inside, you see what would fall in front of the door. It is the body of what is just the body and further inside, you see a few more strewn about the shack.
Well, I was wrong. Let's start with yes.
Hlin! Come and look. Is this your party?
She's been behind you, and when she saw the body, she just kind of shakes her head. I thought so. She kind of takes a few steps forward. Yes, this is them.
Can I inspect the bodies? I want to see if I can tell what killed them.
Sure. There are 5 corpses, frozen corpses actually, in the shack. There's one behind the door, 3 in the middle of the floor, and there seems to be one on top of in the corner behind beside some crates.
Alright, I'll start with this body right by the door. What do you want me to roll for that?
Either an investigation, medicine, one of those two.
Alright, I'll roll medicine, because that's my better score. And
Alrighty.
that's a nat 20.
Not a nat 20, but it's a 20 nonetheless. So you do see a bunch of cuts, probably made from a dagger or a sword. Upon closer inspection, you see the remnants of sharp ice kind of scattered and splintered inside the wound. You are inspecting a Goliath, actually.
Are they all that large?
Looking among the bodies, there's a Goliath, there's a human, an Earth Genasi, and there's a Patalia in the middle of Patalia is something you've never seen before. Basically a flower person. And the person in the corner, you can't quite make out what she is.
Mavis is going to cast light, I guess in like the center, like ceiling part. If I can just, I don't know how big this shack is, but I just want to light it so I can see everything in here.
Alrighty. You can do so. You get a better look at things.
Going towards the corpse in the corner.
Alrighty. What would you like to do? She seems to be clutching something.
Wonder what this is. And I'm just gonna grab it.
When you grab it, it doesn't let go. And what scares you the most is you see this person breathing.
I'm going to, I guess, pull the person out and pull it towards the sensor.
What you pull out is an odd-looking harpy girl, a small creature, but not like the harpies you faced before. This one seems more what's domesticated, if that makes any kind of sense. She is half frozen. And
Arakakra?
no, actually a little harpy girl. I think I shared the picture with her before, but let's see.
You used the Raza picture, didn't you?
I didn't, actually.
Oh. Oh, you used the maiden picture earlier. That's the one I'm remembering. Not for this character, but earlier.
Let's see. Let me move this out of that. There you go. She is lightly dressed. Makes you kind of wonder why she's out here in the cold dressed like this. She is half frozen. Her breath is very faint and weak. And you drag this out in the middle of the cabin. You say anything to anybody else, or?
Yeah. Everyone. There's a harpy lady. I believe she's still alive. And I'm just gonna reach into my pouch and I'm gonna grab a torch, and light it, so we can get a little bit of warmth in here.
Alrighty. with your light spell and the torch, this cabin is very well lit. Um, Other than her kind of huddled together for warmth, she has a peculiar medallion, and it looks like a few different adornments. She has a magic item or two on her. Helene will kind of barge in and, oh, oh dear, Zilk, you must get her back to the inn.
Zilk?
Liaison from my old adventuring days, from my old guild. Wonder she's still alive out here.
Oh, she's still alive.
Not for long, not if we don't do anything.
Here, I am very warm. I will carry her under my cloak. We will take her back to the inn, yes?
Yes, of course. Yeah, that works with me.
Before we go, I'd like to do survival to check for tracks.
Alright, go ahead. Pretty much the same as before. Whatever has happened here, it happened a while back. What you do find seems not to be but a few days old, perhaps earlier in the week. You all have only spent about a day here now. You get the feeling she's been out here for about half a week now.
Perhaps when she is well, she'll be able to reveal something.
Yes, these are my thoughts too. Can we see what she is clutching?
Yes. She seems to be holding on to them with every last ounce she has. Seems to be a bunch of papers and notes she's holding on to.
Alright, I don't want to take them from her. She can continue clutching them as long as she feels she needs to. But I want to hold her close to my torso so that she benefits from the most warmth and wrap my cloak around us both so that she's entirely enclosed. Shall we take her to the inn where she can get warm?
We definitely should. We should be on our way as quickly as possible.
I agree.
Um, Mavis is gonna look around and see if any of these bodies uh, have any type of deity that they worship, like a cleric, for example.
Let's see. You can either give me an investigation or religion for that. Don't notice anything out of the ordinary. The battalion seems to have an odd symbol in a few different places. He wears a medallion with this symbol on it. You think you think it has religious properties, or maybe some sort of religion.
All right. And Mavis is just gonna, once everybody is kind of like ready to go, he's just gonna do a little short prayer before leaving and then be on his way.
Do we have any guess as to what might have happened here?
Well, the body I examined looked like it had been stabbed and hacked, but inside the wounds it was ice, like some sort of a blade of ice. Never have I seen this type of thing before.
As you all head back carrying Zilk, she'll You see Helene's face kind of sour as you say that.
Hlin? You look like you recognize what I talk about.
We'll discuss it later. Let's get our dear friend here into some warmth. We can discuss it later.
Very well.
Mm.
All right.
And for them, what a cold way to die. Mm.
Let's see.
Yeah, Katerina just shudders.
Alrighty. If you all don't have any stops make along the way, and just make it straight to the inn. Lane will guide you to her doors, and she will see her stop at the front desk, and she will request very loudly for someone to go get the a medic or a town doctor or whatever it is. Let's see, she seems rather angered and not really catch her words quite right. Few people are a bit shocked to see her great composure as she what? Y'all haven't been able to see these. I thought you have been able to. Doesn't really tell me when something's on the wrong layer.
Oh, very informative. Thank you.
Out of the way. She'll be right behind you, up to her room. And she will start to try to warm her up. She'll put her in the bed, start to warm her up, and doing what she can.
If there's no fire, is there a hearth in the room?
There is not, but she will ask for you to go get extra blankets for her,
Absolutely.
or do whatever you can to try to warm her up.
I'll get the blankets from my room.
Alrighty. Let's see.
Does she look like she needs a cure spell?
She does not look in the best of health. Anything you can spare would be appreciated.
Right, I'll do my newly found cure wounds.
Alrighty, go ahead. Alrighty, you see her start to... Her eyes start to kind of flutter open a bit. But she doesn't stay conscious long, but whatever you did seems to be helping her.
My time in the forest seems to be paying off.
Impressive indeed, he said. Oh, well done.
I'm going to run downstairs and get some soup.
Actually, I think I will pour some out of my newly acquired alchemy jug, and
Never mind then. You're
I will-
great.
Fresh hot mayonnaise.
I will use that that soup. I'm thinking no, not chicken broth. No, she's a harpy. I'm gonna pour out warmed fish stock Ew. And I'm gonna use it to cast Cure Wounds. Hopefully she's awake enough that I can feed her. Would that work? Do you think she's conscious enough to feed her?
You can, if you're willing to be the one that feeds her, she won't offer any resistance.
Okay.
With time and practice, your fishing skill will reward you with the bouillabaisse worthy.
Well, until then, I will just use my alchemy chalk.
With everyone trying to help her out, after about an hour, well, after about 30 minutes into it, a doctor will show up. And after some time has passed, probably about an hour, each of you doing your own way, doing your own thing to try to help. Plain will kind of step out into the hall, calling for each of you to come out as well.
I'll go out.
Alrighty.
Same.
I follow as well.
She'll hand the notes to you. She's already read them herself. Or perhaps you all did at some point. But we'll go ahead and show this to everybody. It basically says to return these to Hlin Trollbane if they are found. But the victims of the cold-hearted murderer are all in towns where human sacrifices are held. One of their leads suggests they were involved in a lottery scam to avoid the sacrifice. Another lead suggests they were bribing town officials to manipulate the drawing so they could be spared from it. Corruption in the offices of both towns are likely and need to be approached with caution. We'll travel to Targo next. We'll need more evidence if we're to accuse two cities of corruption. We are meeting with someone with close ties to both Targo's and East Haven's officials. They might know of a man common to both towns that might use icy daggers. With any luck, we'll get our first solid lead into this case. That is what the note... Sorting through all the information on the notes, this is kind of what you glean from it.
There's a link to Hlin Trollbane there as well. Tried not to click it, but I did.
Oh, you can. It doesn't matter. I made it visible. Like clear out a few things on there, but...
Huh.
So did they meet the person that's... I'm kind of confused on this.
We have some knowledge of Hlin Trollbane. I do not remember this person.
She finally lets you all kind of digest that a bit. She'll just say, the investigation I am conducting is into the cold-hearted murder. Each victim has had an icy dagger through the heart. One was in... Actually, good question, where was this murder at?
Well, it seems our work is cut out for us then.
Let's see. I gotta remember which, Oh, okay. Yeah, so, just continue on, After checking her notes, I suppose.
Who was this cold-hearted murderer?
That's who I'm looking for. The first murder was in Targos. That was a few weeks ago. The second one happened here. I believe her name was Jenna. They both had an ice dagger through the heart. Now, there has been other victims of similar circumstances, but these are the only two reported. This was the latest victim, so I started my investigation here. Hired a party to help me.
Yes, and now the party has met the same fate, with the ice in the wounds.
Do you think it is possible that the man that they wanted to question is the same man that they were in the end murdered by?
That's what I'm thinking. It's the same way the other victims have died. I thought this was going to be a simple investigation, but apparently, whoever's doing this is very skilled. Skilled enough to take out a whole party by himself, it seems. This is why I was hesitant to hire you at first.
It seems we will be traveling to Targo then.
Yes. I believe we need to look at the other murder. Chances are we'll find our next lead there. We should also investigate the other town involved in these sacrifices. Chances are if a person is connected with the other two, then Brian Shindor, the third town involved in these sacrifices, might know the murderer as well. Kinda slams down her cane. Well, that's it. I'm officially hiring you. I'll pay you once we find the murderer, but for now, you're welcome to take this. And, actually, I'll roll on a table of what to give you. She'll actually just say, well, for now, I'll go and pay you an item of your choice for my old adventuring days. An old relic from back then. Zilk brought some of them to me to remember my days. I've got quite a few items. What would you be looking for? A weapon? A trinket?
Well, a trinket would always be pretty nice.
Alrighty. Let's see what we get. Does that include? Yes. Why doesn't someone roll me a 1d? Let's just say 50. Roll a d50. / roll 1d50. Alrighty. Let's see. Alrighty. She'll get into some of her chests, or not chest, in her bag, and pull out 2 stones. What she hands you is a pair of sending stones, which is actually quite decent too. So let's see, is that even in the game? Should be. These stones help me keep in contact with my party. I had a rogue type back in my old days who would venture off into and scout ahead. These stones let us keep in contact with one another. Hopefully, they give you as much value as they did in my old adventuring days. And
Like that?
yeah, I'm not sure if they're actually in the. No, they're probably not the compendium. It's odd.
Yeah, I couldn't find them in Roll20, but I did find them online in 5e tools.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Basically, it's a pair of stones. They actually look like this. I'll post them in the chat here.
They give me very heavy Inuit kind of vibes.
Cool.
Doesn't require attunement or anything. You can cast the sending spell from one person who has the stone to the other person who has the stone once a day. So that'll be for you all to decide on how to use, but let's get back on with Hlin.
That's cool.
More valuable separate than together.
How shall we devise these up?
I suggest we wait until someone needs to separate.
That may be true, but I doubt having them together would be too advisable. If we were to separate accidentally without time for preparation, it may be better to have them already separated out, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Yes, it makes perfect sense and good idea.
Oh, we shall have a vote then. I vote for Ethan to have one. Yes, makes sense, right?
Yes, it makes sense. Being ranger, Ethan travels about more. I second the vote.
I think
I shall
I
carry the thing.
I think we should give the second one to Katarina, as the uh, tankiest. Sounds a little offensive, but you are a very solid built warrior.
I thank you, and I bow from the waist and then flex.
Oh,
Maybe
go.
you do. I slap the muscle.
Ah, yes. Good and strong, yes? Strong like ox.
Yes,
Oh, that's very intimidating.
but I have noticed that out of all of us, Katarina is the least nimble. So if Eisen has the first one, it may be most beneficial to give the second to a Katarina, as those are the two most likely to split.
And you are the one with the brains. Excellent idea. I agree.
Thank you. Honey will blush to herself.
Well, your party's coming together, even though you've lost a few members. I think you'll do just fine. So, as I said, I think the best lead will be the other murder. But you are free to start your investigation wherever you choose. I'll head to the city you decide not to go to. Bryn Shandor or Targos. I think we've got what we can out of here, unless you want to talk to the captain any more on the matter. Once my business here is finished, she kind of looks back into the room. Either way, the two cities are close to one another. Once either of us find something, it won't be hard to find one another again.
And what of the victim? Do you think she'll pull through?
The victim here, all I was able to figure out is her name was Jenna. Pretty much the same thing as before, a nice dagger through her heart.
And what was the name of the victim in Targo?
Not entirely too certain.
We shall have to ask the constables then.
Do we have a reference for how far these places are?
It shouldn't take that long to get there, actually. The roads between the towns are well, it's not so much they're maintained, but you can get from one to the other pretty quickly. The East Haven, you'll go across the East Way through Bryn Shandor. It's roughly 18 miles from you. And while on the road, did have it wrote down somewhere. It's been a while. You can travel about 24 miles a day, so you can get there within a day. Well, actually, hold on. Because you only have so many hours of daylight, it's different for... Alright, you can travel about 3 miles per hour. Just kind of walking across the road. You have about 4 hours of daylight to travel with. Say you've probably spent an hour already just kind of doing what you can. So you can probably make it about 9 miles.
Do you think we should set out in the daylight at the first dawn, rather than now and have to camp at night?
If we could avoid traveling at night, that would probably be the best idea. We barely were able to keep ourselves warm last time. So, maybe Ison don't trump into the waters this time.
Traveling, even at the break of dawn, it would still take more than a day to get to Bryn Shandor. Because you can make about 3 hours a day. And
Brent, further than Targos, or
Targos and Bryn Shandor are actually pretty close to each other. They're not,
From
but
our is Brian is closer or Targos?
Targos is further. But you have to pass through Bryn to get there.
Ah, okay.
You can probably still consider this before the twilight has happened, so you probably still get your 4 hours of travel in today. But it's about 15 miles from East Haven.
Right. I do have Natural Explorer so difficult terrain doesn't slow my group's travel.
Alrighty, it doesn't come into play when traveling on the roads. That's just normal
Okay.
travel pace.
Okay.
Well, it is going to be kind of a trek, so perhaps we should look into getting some sleds, or maybe there's some dogs here in East Haven. Make the trip a little bit easier for us.
I had not even considered that, but it sounds like good conveyance.
Also, those sleds that we saw, were they in good shape when we went to that shack, or?
One was broke, but there was one that was intact.
Well, at the shack there was at least that's one that we could probably use. Um, we might need to get a couple more if we all want to go. Oh, actually, we might just need one more. We can probably fit 2 people there.
Yes, all we need is dogs who are trained. Is there a known kennel or stable in this town?
There is a stables. Let's see. Are doing some overworld map stuff, so I can. Apparently, they
There is,
updated
let's
the
see
ice.
here.
Apparently, I updated the Icewind Dale module and reset a lot of the settings I had on the maps. One of which was putting the GM layer and what's visible to you all and visible to me. They put it back to default, so all the extra work I did on everything just kind of went kaput.
Oh,
It's fine. It just takes a few minutes of clicking, which is what I've been doing while we've been doing this. Mainly hiding things that you all don't need to see yet. Yo, now go ahead and bring us over to the overworld map. Page, I think it's actually in one of your handouts already.
okay. So we will be heading from East Haven toward Bryn Shander. Now, didn't Hlin say that there was another murder in Bryn Shander?
No, but that's where another town in the notes, in the little handouts, the last party figured that murders were happening in the towns where there were sacrifices.
Right, right.
There was a murder in Targos and a murder in the town you're in now, which is East Haven. Not one in Bryn Shander. But a lot of these are the reported murders. There are just other killings and things like that not necessarily tied to this, but they've kind of Hlin has kind of figured are connected a bit, and they all happen between these 3 towns. And the last party pretty much figured that it was happening in the towns with the human sacrifices, because that's what all 3 of these have in common.
Right.
see. There's the dog sleds. So, an NP sled will cost you 20 gold. You'll need one for each person that's going to use one. And you'll have to have a dog as well, which costs 50 gold. So, 70 gold per person, though you do have one empty sled already. And how it works is the dog sleds, after an hour, they have to take a short rest, which is an hour rest, then move an hour, then rest an hour. Otherwise, they get a level of exhaustion. Basically, running them beyond their limits. But they are considerably faster, if I'm not mistaken. Also, a bit of money, too, which you all don't quite have yet.
After splitting up that treasure, I thought we all had at least 100 gold.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
you
so.
definitely could. You could get some as well.
I was wondering how difficult it would be to convince the rest of you if we were to allow me to take the sled led off by the other party.
I think we should just settle this with the old-fashioned Rochambeau.
You two can go ahead. I will by my own.
And you are very sure, Mavis, that there is nothing I could do to convince you to allow me to have the sled?
Mavis has his fist out and another hand underneath it. He's like ready to go.
Hey, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So how do we want to do this?
Roll.
Like, I'm talking out of character for a second.
Roll a d20.
Okie doke. There we go. Ah.
Okay.
Goat
Well-
always beats the leaf.
That is how it works. I guess I will just have to hike up my skirt and buy myself a sled.
How much faster is it if we do the sleds than by foot?
Let's see. They are twice as fast, but with the requirement to rest, traveling on foot is just as fast, unless you want to basically incur exhaustion onto your dogs. It is actually recommended that travel on foot is just less expensive because you have to worry about food, water, and shelter for the dogs, as well as stabling them. Unless you have more equipment that you can carry, pretty much on foot would be a lot cheaper and just as fast.
Well, perhaps we should go by foot until we need them.
It still
Aw.
wouldn't be a bad idea to pick up the free sled before somebody else does.
And Lane will speak up. I can look after it. I'll probably use it to transport our friend here to Brian Shandor. If you plan to go to Targos, I'll head there and investigate myself. I'll use it and keep it ready for you.
Thank you. Would you do us another favor? And when she awakes, ask her about the man that she met.
I plan to.
Will we all be traveling to Bryn Shander together then first?
I believe so, yes.
We should leave in the morning so we have as much daylight as possible.
Well, isn't it? It's not too late in the day right now, is it?
You still got 3 hours of travel. Well, you still have a full day of travel if you wanted to. It's been kind of in the morning, in the dusk. About 2 hours into the day is when it's light enough to travel. We'll just say that because you basically have about 8 hours of the day to kind of do things, but you can only have 4 hours of daylight, and traveling at night is kind of the bad thing. So you still have a full 4 hours today, because the only thing everything you've done so far has just been within the first morning hours.
What do you think, Wilbur? We travel now for a bit and make camp? Hope they get there by the nightfall? The little thing is just completely ignoring me, floating around, doing whatever.
Oh yeah, it's actually invisible right now.
Even
Now
better.
we are fully recovered from our last battle. It may be better to rest a little bit more.
Ah. Well, you're free to continue to use the rooms here. I think you still have business left here with the speaker, don't you? One of their representatives came by looking for you earlier. But I assume you've already met with them, haven't you?
Is our gold petty? Oh, can you imagine all those gems? Oh, mouth watering.
All 5 of them.
Oh, so 5. I get excited every time I hear it.
All right, I think Eisen probably needs to rest one more day. He is just recovered from the chilling experience in the bay.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that you had ice and sink.
Yeah. Ice nearly died out there.
Yeah.
But Elaine was just, good. Well, it's good you get rested up before traveling, especially if you have to camp halfway through. You could always risk traveling at night and make it there in a single day, but that would be risking quite a bit. Well, the roads tend to be a bit safer, so whatever it is you wish. I will pay for your rooms for how long as you stay here. I will be here for a while longer until my friend is ready to move. To be moved, I should say.
All right, Eisen will meditate and rest for 4 hours.
Alright, it's still pretty early in the morning, so if you're all going to spend the day resting a bit more, how would you like to spend your day?
Well, Katerina's a little bummed that we're not getting dogs, but she understands, so she's going to make sure to get a lot of like warm gear to batten whatever tent we're going to use for camping. Anything she can get to warm up the tent.
Alrighty, let's see, East Haven. Services. You could find some little lanterns and things if you just want to look at common adventuring gear and spend money as you need. Kind of let me know what you're buying, and if it's common adventuring gear, you're in this town. It's not hard to find, and they won't hassle you too much over prices. So, just whatever you see in the base prices, that's what it'll be.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna get like some extra blankets to batten down around the edges of the tents and stuff so that we would stay as warm as possible if we have to camp.
Alright, that isn't actually an item, a blanket and things like that. They just spend your coin as you. I guess just write it down somewhere. We can and just take the coin out of your how much money you got.
All right, sounds good.
I said if it's just common adventuring gear, they won't hassle you too much. Well, they won't really hassle you at all. Word has gotten around of how you found the missing fisherman and ran a hag out of the cove, even though you just reported this to Imdra. It seems that people overheard and word has kind of spread. People greet you a bit better. Before, people kind of their own stubbornness kind of ignored you and more like a tourist kind of attitude. Now they'll actually greet you, and the town locked in ice has warmed up a little bit to you. We're gonna use a bit of yeah.
Mavis is gonna walk around and try to find like a church.
I think we found one before, didn't we? It was abandoned almost, not used in a long time.
Yeah, there was that one. Is there I guess is there another one that's active or no?
That would be the active one, but everybody spends their time in either the Wet Trout or the White Lady Inn because they keep the places warm, and that's where everybody likes to huddle together for warmth. There are a few people who speak religiously of. You know what? I have forgotten the name of the main bad guy.
Well, perhaps you've found your calling in this town in need of spirituality.
Seems the cold has kind of dampened everybody's spirits quite a bit. They've been in it for so long and huddled indoors for so long. They've forgotten what the sun looks like. But a new religion has sprouted out. Not so welcomed by everybody, as some people are kind of a bit against it as well as kind of for it. It is a group of people have started worshiping Ariel herself, believing these sacrifices are necessary to appease her, and people of that kind of nature. We lost Iceland. Nope, we lost
Mavis.
And he was the one asking about the religion too.
Oh.
Oh well, we're all spending a day doing different things.
Oh, honey, if she can, I would like to remind me of the price of a water skin. I think it's 2 silver, unless you have it different, or Icewind Dale has it different.
It won't be any different. It'll be the whatever price is in the book, I believe. I'm not sure if prices are in Roll20.
Player handbook says 2 silver pieces per water skin. Yeah, that's what I thought. Then I'm going to be spending 2 gold pieces and buy 10 water skins.
Nice.
Oh yes, I'm gonna fill I'm going to use the rest of that chicken base to make a soup, and then fill one of my water skins.
Yeah. Adventuring gear, if you tap it in, roll 20. Just make sure you add it in along with the weight. And keep an eye on your character's over encumbrance. It'll pop up on. It'll show you when you're close.
Can I spend the rest of the day, um, working at the wet trout? I'm not sure if you have anything that would allow me to do that, like to try to grab a coin or two. But if I could, that would be fun.
There's actually a section of downtime in things you can do during your downtime and using your skills. I, however, need to pull it up real quick. You want to spend your downtime doing that? I'll call for a roll here in a second. How about Ekaterina? Oh, you're gonna do a little bit of shopping. What else are you gonna do?
I would like to keep my eye out for any sort of a temple or church that looks like it serves the light.
There's only really one big church in the area, and looks like it hasn't seen any use in quite some time.
Right, I don't think I went there before. Is there anybody in that temple?
There isn't actually. It's
Possibly Mivis.
yeah. You might pass by Mivis, but the
You're back.
Speak of the devil.
the person who runs that temple spends their time with the Wet Trout Inn.
Right.
I believe you might have come across them there at some point.
I will kind of dust the altar and everything in the back, kind of tidy it up a little bit.
Alrighty,
man, I don't know what happened to my thing? But
Yeah.
Mivis is just gonna go to the White Lady Inn.
All right, back to the inn with Hlin and everybody else. I think Ison said you're gonna try to rest up as much as you can.
Yeah, I should be good in 4 hours.
Alrighty, just gonna spend some extra time meditating and resting up. That'll be most of the day. Is there anything you all like to do to kind of wrap up the day? Lane will spend her time at the White Lady Inn in her room, tending to Zilk and looking through her own notes.
I'll just sit by the fire and keep an eye on Honey as she works, and just people around town. Maybe listen for rumors or anything that may have information that may have come in about anything, our deeds, or the cauldron, or the murders.
Alrighty, well, we actually got a little thing for that. Let's see. Tin Town rumors. Listening about for a while, you hear a few people talking about in Seer Koenig, which actually isn't that far from here, actually. Just across the lake, thieves and vandals that skulk about unseen. The townspeaker, a dragonborn named Trovis, could really use some help catching the interlopers, as even though they keep guards and watch, that they that they can still maneuver about. See a few fishermen talking to one another from over that way.
You can always tell fishermen by their scent.
Fishy, right? That's the scent?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure we're both on the same page, Jason.
All right. Well, if that's everything, then we'll retire and leave early the next morning.
Yeah, I guess so. Katerina comes back to the White Lady Inn.
Eventually, Honey will make her way back to the Lady Inn as well.
Before Mivis turns in, he's just gonna. Is there like a? I guess the White Lady Inn also has a place to eat and drink and things like that, right?
Yeah, they do offer some simple food and some drink. For
Okay,
all
yeah.
of you that remain there, it really isn't gonna. Okay, I can't find any more. Either way, roll. Why don't you roll me a d20, Honey? We'll see how much. We'll see how much you end up making that day. You make 1 silver.
Oh yeah. Case for
Perhaps
half a water skin.
Perhaps a bit miffed that you draw this unwanted attention into the tavern, or perhaps there just wasn't a whole lot to do. So your replacement's already been found, and you sort of kind of got in the way a little bit. Perhaps trying to show the other person how it's done, and you both just end up getting in each other's way.
Yeah, I've been there. That. Ooh.
You end up taking the wrong end of that kind of rivalry, and he only pays you a silver and just says, if we need you, I'll let you know when we need it."
Oh, sorry, sir. I'll be on my face then.
I will escort Honey back.
All right, but as you all kind of break down the day, Ronaldo, our little bard friend, who has spoken to a few of you a few times, sung songs with the White Lady. He seems almost obsessed with her by now. He seems to be gathering a few people. He doesn't seem to be singing his normal song and banter. He's asking people who's interested. He's gonna hold a séance tonight to contact the wild spirit of the White Lady of Locket in the Share. For everybody who's interested.
Oh, I'm interested. Me and Wilbur will attend. If then it suits Wilbur. That is, I have no control over that invisible ball of light.
A medium. Yes.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. I wonder who he's gonna call.
I
This is
am
exciting.
skeptical of these things.
Let us go
Then-
and join.
I was a bit skeptical, but so now one of my closest companions happens to be an undead floating spirit. So
Perhaps the dead should stay dead.
Well,
Well,
yes, of course.
perhaps we should be there to make sure it stays so, huh?
It
perhaps
seems like
you're
we're
all right.
protectors.
How are you feeling, Filbert? Coming for a snack?
Well, here we go. Let's I'll go and reveal this to everybody since we are getting towards the end. Just kind of general information about the town you've been in so far. Things you've pretty much sussed out already. Let's see. Who all's interested in Ronaldo's seance?
No, I am.
Oh yeah.
So is Mivis.
How about you,
Isaac-
Ison?
Eisen is extremely skeptical and a little bit put off, but he doesn't want to leave the others, so he'll stay and watch.
Alrighty. He has also invited a half a dozen other guests. He brings you all to the back room, or whenever everybody is ready. Let's see. So as he prepares, a lot of people are chattering with one another. He's done this once or twice already with no luck, but people are always interested to see the spectacle. Ronaldo does put on quite a performance, as most of you have already known. Let's see. And as he starts to get a few lamps hung in the rafters and lights them, the smoke from the burning incense clouds the room a bit. Multicolored lamps and silks are hung from the rafters, and the light from several candles illuminates a circle of uncomfortable-looking guests sitting cross-legged on the floor. Ronaldo pushes back his sleeves of his robe, raises his hands, closes his eyes, and atones. "Lady, who watches from the lake, come to us in our darkest hour. Tell us what you have seen." And after a few moments of silence, nothing happening, as everybody kind of looks back and forth to one another, thick frost actually forms on the inside of the room's windows, turning them opaque, and the candles go out one by one. You see Ronaldo is quite shaken, as are some of the people, and he looks to your group and just says, the White Lady's spirit is close. Reach out to it. And he'll turn to each of you and say, "Go on, reach out to it. She's close."
Honey will more than definitely reach out to that. Oh, she is so hyped.
Alrighty. A lot of the commoners seem a bit hesitant and don't wish to do so. Who all would like to try to reach out to the White Lady?
I will hold out one clawed hand, palm up, as if I'm about to receive something.
Eisen will get really nervous all of a sudden and stand up and say, mutter under his breath, "Fools, you know not what you do." And he'll turn around and go up, storm him off up to his room.
Mavis is just gonna be like, "Oh, he's not into this. How do we reach out?"
Honey will reach out as much as she can, almost like leaning into her cross-legged sitting.
Reach out, call out to her wherever you can.
Oh, White Lady.
Alright. So, I'd like for all of you who are actually reaching out to her to give me a charisma check.
Oh. Well, hey, my rolling has changed a bit. No more ones.
Alrighty, so I believe that is enough. Just gonna do it this way. Alrighty. Yeah, that is a success. Kind of looks about and sees a few things shaking and muttering, and she can she's receptive to you. All of you, you can ask. Go ahead, ask your questions.
Oh, I wasn't prepared to ask any questions. Ekaterina, go, ask the questions.
White lady, do you know, can you tell us, who is the cold-hearted killer?
Oh, that's a good one. I should have asked that one.
You see behind you, on the frosted glass, 3 words appear. Servant of Ariel.
I thank you for your answer.
Ronaldo kind of speaks up. Oh, this is wonderful. Good stuff, good stuff. Go on, another question. Why is she still here?
Oh goodness. Mevis, do you have any questions? I'm feeling little.
I have one more.
I do have one.
Oh, Mavis.
White lady, is there an imminent threat among us here in East Haven?
She will... I'm gonna show this to you, because this is kind of interesting. She will write on the frosted glass, invisible dwarves.
That is terrifying.
I think a little art there, it shows it as well.
Ekaterina?
I have one more question.
Yes.
White lady, where can we find the cold-hearted killer? Can you point the direction?
Let's see. She'll just simply write no.
I thank you anyway.
Oh, two out of 3. That's really good, right?
After the 3rd question is asked, the frost on the windows start to disappear, and all of the lamps flicker on at the same time. Everyone is kind of shooken. You can see the mood is kind of shaky and uneasy. Ronaldo is having an absolute blast, but no one expected him to actually do it. He'll just kind of clap his hands. Oh yes! Finally, we got to ask her questions. Though, probably should have asked her what that treasure was. But she only responded to you, so I suppose it was your right to ask the questions.
Katerina goes over and shakes Ronaldo's hands. Congratulations, a seance most well performed. Yes, and soon we shall have rid this area of the cold-hearted murderer, and everyone will be safer.
Safe enough to look for the White Lady's treasure. Kind of
Oh,
talking
yes.
of the room.
I'm very interested about these invisible dwarves.
Especially with how much slavery goes around in East Haven, it might be nicer to see if these dwarves were visible.
Or at least findable.
Yes, that that would be helpful too.
Ronaldo kind of bows and starts shaking people's hands, and you see the crowd start to disperse a bit. Ronaldo is furiously writing in his notebook. You get the feeling he's gotten some new inspiration for some more songs and lyrics. White Lady didn't so much give a straightforward answer, but was a bit cryptic. Well, didn't give you a clear answer. Maybe cryptic's not the right word for that. But that is how you kind of proceed into the night. You got invisible dwarves, which not quite sure what it means, but there's asked about a threat to the town. That was what she replied. And a servant of Ariel, which is particularly interesting, because these sacrifices, human sacrifices, are to Ariel.
So ostensibly, there's a priest of Oriel in this town.
Maybe not a priest, but perhaps a servant.
Yes, that would fit the bill also. Who is the person who runs the sacrifices?
That would be. It was Speaker Davin, or yeah, Speaker Daneth, who decided this would be their town sacrifice, and it's Captain Imdra who enforces it. It is a weekly sacrifice, and it's a 10 day, so it's every 10 days is a week here. And I believe in the notes that Zilk was clutching said something about it as well. I'm not sure where it's at, so yeah.
One sec, I have it right here. One lead suggests they were involved in a lottery scam to avoid the sacrifices. Another lead suggests they were bribing town officials to manipulate the drawing. Corruption in the offices of both towns of Targo and East Haven are likely and need to be approached with caution.
So for the most part, a lot of people are skeptical if Ariel is even receptive of any of these sacrifices at all. If she pleases her or displeases her, they don't know. But I guess yeah.
And then it says we're meeting with someone with close ties to both Targo's and East Haven's officials. I wonder who that could be. Well, according to the ghost, we are looking for a follower of Oril. Now we know they do sacrifice to Oril here. They make sacrifice here. The note says there is corruption in the offices of both the towns, Targo and East Haven.
Now, this may be a little too philosophical for our issue, but if these people are the corrupted, they are uh, ruining the lottery, the running the chances of the actual what is the word sacrifices, then are they truly following the will of Ariel? Do you think she just wants a body, or if the actual randomness of a sacrifice is what pleases her? Because if so, then we can count out the corrupted politicians as the follower of Ariel. I'm not sure if I am making any sense.
You are making sense. I was along similar lines in my thinking. Either it is the leader of the town, the speaker, or it is Captain Imdra. They are the two responsible for sacrifice in this town.
So they must know something about this then, right?
Likely, yes, likely they are in on it.
And Katerina, you do remember that Imdra said she did owe you a favor?
Imdra owes me a favor.
This may just be me being a little stingy, but could we possibly get those gemstones before we accuse the speaker of crimes against the town? I assume that is a yes. Honey is seeming to like just slowly pace back and forth, like she is very concerned about these gemstones. But
Go
continue.
ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but we can definitely talk to Captain Indra as long as we do not point anything towards towards the speaker. I would hate to miss out on our reward for that cauldron because we misspoke.
I follow.
Now, what were you saying?
Then mayhap we should talk to Imdra first.
I think that is a very good idea.
Yeah, sure. I don't. I think that's fine as well.
Alright, then I guess we're gonna go talk to Captain Imdra.
It's probably really late right now, right?
Oh, right, no, this is right after the seance. We'll have to talk to her in the morning.
Right before we leave.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, it is late at night. course, you all could have eaten any time during the day. Your food and board is room and board is paid for at the White Lady Inn, so you don't really have to worry about that during the day. And you're all free to rest. Guess Ison might have a little trouble sleeping since he slept all day, but he will. He can still rest nonetheless.
He can like do a little dance or something. I don't know. Keep himself occupied.
Yeah, I was in trouble falling asleep, but he can still get rested up.
I'll guard the rooms. In
All right.
case any ice daggered assassins approach in the evening.
Alrighty. So you spend the night. The night is uneventful, and you do get a full rest in. That's still good though. The next morning comes. Still got about probably a few hour, about an hour or two before twilight happens. You all wake up and nothing happened through the night.
Excellent. Shall we go talk to Captain Indra?
What exactly will he be asking before we get there?
We should find out who is responsible for drawing the names of the sacrifices. We can ask how the sacrifices are chosen.
This could draw unwanted attention.
I mean, we did bring them something that is quite useful. Perhaps it wouldn't be too much of an insult.
I think if Katerina is, she's the one that Indra owes a favor to. If she were to go and ask as a way to, oh goodness, I can't actually think of the word now.
Invoke the favor.
That's it. It's not the word I was going for, but it's perfect. Yes, invoke the favor, then maybe she'll be a bit more compliant.
I can do this, yes?
I believe so. Yes, we will be with you for moral support, of course, but I will allow you to do all the talking, and I hope Mivis and Ison follow my lead for a little.
Eisen nods.
Alright, to Imdra then.
Alrighty.
Redeem. The word I was looking for was redeem. Ah.
There it is.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Alright, so it's been a full day since Deneth made his offer. Actually, he knew about the cauldron the night before, so... Just getting the timeline right. Yeah, this will happen. So you go... How would you like to look for her?
I would think we would start at the barracks.
Alrighty. Doesn't take you no more than a few minutes to get over there. The barracks is lively and bustling. You don't see her standing outside.
I ask one of the guard. Is Captain Imdra here?
No. She had business at the town hall. Apparently something happened last night.
At the town hall. What happened?
Oh, darn it. It's the cauldron, of course. Let's go.
If they have taken my gemstones, I will be very upset.
Alright, I guess we're rushing over to the town hall.
Alright, with a little bit of your pace a bit quickened and rushing on over, you'll see the front doors of the town hall busted in. There's a battering ram there that some of the guards are kind of side as a few others rush in. See Captain Imder outside just kind of writing down notes on her own little pad. She comes out of the doors. They were busted in earlier this morning.
Captain, what has happened?
She just kind of looks to you and some thieves and thugs came in the night. I believe the business does affect you all. And they stole the cauldron last night.
They stole the cauldron?
Jeez, one day. Just one. Goodness.
Came in sleds in the night. A few thugs with an axe beak. They hauled it away in the sled and they held the speaker hostage. My own
Really?
guards were tied up.
Do they still have the speaker?
No, they used him as leverage to make the guards stand down.
Is he alright?
He is fine. Maybe his pride is a bit bruised. I would speak to him regarding the cauldron. Believe he still plans to honor his deal.
I should hope so.
If the cauldron was carried away in a sled, with an axe beak,
That's what the prince suggests.
I would like to try my hand at tracking as well.
Tracks led out towards the east way. We're still looking about, trying to figure out who did it, but sorry. Alrighty.
Should we follow the tracks?
I would hate to split us up, but some of us should go and speak with the speaker.
We should stay together. We'll hurry and speak quickly.
We're letting him calm down a bit before we talk to him about it. He seems particularly shook about it.
Well, then it might be best to go after the speak after all.
Before you head off, maybe give it a bit and talk to him. I think he knows who took it.
It sounds that way from your description.
Well then, shall we go into the speaker? I mean, he might have calmed down by now. Ignore his check.
Yes,
Yes.
we had
Yes, we
to
need to speak to him as quickly as possible.
go ahead. We be out here looking into matters further. The cauldron was not the only thing that was stolen, and
Do you know what else was stolen?
not at the moment, but speaker sure does. Either way, once you've get done speaking with him, perhaps I will as well, and try to figure out who's behind this mess. Or if you can, that will save me some trouble.
We shall speak with him.
I believe he's in his office. Go right ahead.
Alright, I head in.
I will follow not far behind.
Same.
Better have my gemstones. Messing with my heart here.
There are a lot of guards kind of poking about, but none of them really stop you. You head through the same place you did before, heading around the corner to his little office. His door is shut, and you hear him. You hear a loud bang every now and again.
I give the door one courtesy knock. And then I open it and peek inside. Speaker? Speaker Daneth. We would speak with you.
He sort of paces back and forth. You can see he's clearly angered by the whole ordeal. When he hears your knock and as you step in, you see him kind of straightening his clothing and trying to regain his composure and yes, come on in. I'm sure you've heard, the cauldron was taken.
Yes, we have heard. We
S-
have heard that other things were taken as well. Like what?
Well, I can understand the cauldron, but the other thing that's missing is just a few trinkets I had about.
What kind of trinkets? Mayhap there's a link.
It was just an old figurehead from a ship. It was broken into many pieces. It was a particular kind of odd metal, so
Well, do you know what kind of metal it was?
not really, no. No one's ever seen anything like it. But it's practically useless. Can't be molded, can't be used. Try to put too much force in it, it just breaks. Just more of a centerpiece than anything else.
What did it look like exactly? This metal.
That's a good question. It actually doesn't say. We will just say. Oh, it was a big. I can't really tell. It was broken up a bit, but it was of an old ship that came into port. It was well, didn't come into port, but of an old ship that got retired. It was of a Triton woman.
What was
They-
the name of the ship?
I can't recall anymore. Said it was a really old ship that got decommissioned a long time ago. The metal was had a bit of attractive quality to it. So I
Yes,
figured
that's-
I bought it off the old deckhand and used it as a decoration piece.
And the metal looked similar to iron, or perhaps something different.
Mm. That's probably in your roles page. I'll think about it. No, not in there. It was just a colorless black metal. It behaved more like a crystal, honestly. Very shiny and reflective.
That is quite odd.
Was this ship decommissioned here?
It was really before my time. I just happened to come across it at the, it's an old trinket the owner of the East Haven Ferry sold me.
Thank you. We will look and maybe this will tell us something. Now, tell us what you know about the people who took the cauldron.
Let's see. I really can't find that handout anymore. It was just like a little art thing, but just be mysterious and whatnot. But oh well. You afterward? No. I don't know where it's at. Out of the way. Like a million handouts here. Let's find my place. After opening said million handouts, I need to find the one back to the one I was at. Ah, yes. They were Zentrian thieves. My yes. They're located over towards Targos. My secretary, Prudence Tarkwald. Apparently he was a Zentrim spy. As soon as he caught word of the cauldron, they were here within a day.
I would
And I
like
kind
to.
of like nudge Isen.
I'd like to do an insight check.
Alright, go ahead.
See if there's anything he's maybe lying about or not telling.
In regards to the way he said so far, nothing's really been a secret. Perhaps he knows more about the figurehead than he's letting on, or what it's made of. Something around in there. He didn't tell you the whole truth. He didn't lie about anything, but what he said so far about the Zentrum thieves has been right. They'll just see. Prudence, she worked closely with me for 3 years. Can't believe she would betray me like this.
Is there like bad blood between Targos and East Haven?
Not particularly, but me and their speaker don't particularly get along.
And what's the speaker's name?
Good question. The speaker there is Narth Maxildonar. Now the Zentimir don't work for Targos or him, but Prudence does. She's clearly associated with them. And I know she has family over in Targos, so he has to be mixed up in this. I know it. Kind of sits back down and kind of puts his fingers to his forehead, kind of trying to gain his composure a little bit, trying to figure out what his next move is.
All right, we'll take the group aside and confer a little bit about our next move.
Well, it sounds like we are still on the way to Targo.
Yes, indeed. We should probably leave as soon as we can.
Are we going to go after the cauldron? Or do you think it's more important that we find the murderer?
Well, the other murder happened in Targo as well, so I do not believe in coincidence.
Well, I mean, do we need the cauldron? Perhaps we can still get our reward.
Speaking of, Honey will shift her attention to the speaker. Were you able to gather the reward for the cauldron? Well, we're here. It would be a perfect time to collect.
He'll just kind of lean back in his chair, look to you guys, and yes. I haven't got to gather all the gems yet. I've got about 3 of them. The rest are coming tonight. You're still welcome to reward it. Regardless of if we were still during a business transaction, this would have happened regardless if you were here or not. This is our own failure. It will still pay you. It is fair after all.
Why don't we take the 3 gemstones that you have now, and then we will, if it happens that the murder we are investigating and the theft of the cauldron are intertwined, then we may bring it back here and collect the remainder of our reward. If not so, we will come back for the other 2 gemstones regardless.
I suppose that's a fair deal. He'll stand up and walk over to a bookcase, take a little key out of his pocket, open up a little lockbox, and Investigating a murder, you say? Take the gems and walk over to you and hand them to you. Well, there's a murder in my town. Imdur will know what of it. You have helped us out so far. Can't imagine she'd be unwilling to help you.
Yes, we will ask her to thank you.
Yeah. So you get 3 gemstones worth 500 gold pieces.
In this town, it would probably be the most defensive to split them up so that one person is not holding all 3 of them.
Right, pickpocketing and all.
Right.
How big are the gemstones?
Nothing too big. I'd say all 3 could probably fit in your hand. You can tell they're extremely valuable.
Okay, so
Well, if you had me one, I could probably fit this one right inside my belly button. And I don't think there's anything safer than that.
I think that maybe Icewind, Katrina, and I will hold on to them then.
I already have the mask. I will wait and see if we retrieve the other ones. Until then, go ahead.
All right. What in the belly button?
Oh, that gives me chills, and I don't even know why.
probably have to get some fuzzies out of there first, you know.
Oh, that's even worse.
Ekaterina raises one scaled eyebrow and looks at her midriff. She doesn't have a belly button, having been hatched from an egg. She just tucks her gemstone in her pouch, which is underneath her chainmail.
And I will put the last one in one of my water skins.
So I guess this is a whole process for Mivis because he has to take off his surcoat that has his like deity's, sign on there. Then he has to take off his splint mail, and he's just doing this all like in front of you guys right now. Just like, does a nice little stretch here and there, and then just plops it right in the
Usually
belly
you
button.
need a squire to help you take that stuff off and put it back on,
Honey will stand there blushing with her hands over her eyes, but doing that thing where like she will peek through it every now and then. But mostly just very shyly averting her attention.
When I take my armor off, you can really see that I'm a little bit chunkier than what I look with my armor on. It looks like my armor kind of sucks in a lot of the flab, if you will.
Armor
Fair
is
enough.
very slimming that way.
Well, those molded in abs that they put on the chest plate really help.
Yeah.
Eisen will start to track down, hopefully, a trail of some kind.
Alrighty. Denth will kind of sit back down and sort of stressed out by the whole situation. Being tied up all night doesn't do well for your sleep schedule, I suppose. So just nod you all as you all start to head back after he hands you the payment, and outside, Captain Imdra still hangs about. He's talking with some of the guards that were held there last night and taking her own notes. You get the feeling she's kind of caught up on the whole situation herself at this point.
Imdra. Captain.
Yes. I think I'm about done here.
Yes, us
What,
as
what can I
well.
help you with?
We have been hired to investigate a murder. One here in this town, and one in another town not far from here.
I don't know of murders elsewhere, but with as many people cooped up, it's hard to kill one another, honestly. Mostly gotta worry about pickpockets.
Yes, pickpockets. However, we would like information about the murder in this town. The recent murder.
Murder of Tutor Jenna, I assume.
Yes.
She died with a nice dagger through her heart. An odd weapon, but the formal investigation turned up nothing. Wasn't a trace left behind. But what is it you want to know about it?
We want to know, first of all, we would like to see the murder scene.
Well, not much problem in that. He died in the middle of town in the streets. It was though she was found the next morning.
And she died at night?
Yes. Most people were either asleep or in the taverns cuddled up for warmth. Killed in the middle of the streets.
Where did she die exactly?
I believe it was off the main road going... I believe it was the main road coming off the east way, heading towards the docks. We said we did our own investigation on the matter, but by morning there wasn't much wasn't really a trace left behind, and by morning, well, it was during a blizzard, so couldn't really find much. We tried to track down some leads, but the problem was there are too many leads to track down. She made a lot of enemies lately. With no investigation, no evidence, the investigation's gone cold.
Alright. Can we have a list of the enemies she has made? Mayhap we can help you with the investigation. If there are too many for you to handle, we can take a few ourselves.
Well, I can give you the name of half the town.
Really? Anyone in particular?
No one had a personal grudge against her, if that's what you're asking. But she was trying to cheat the lottery. It is supposed to be fair and impartial, just how it shall remain. But word got out, and a lot of people were not happy she was trying to exclude herself from it.
And how could she do this? Is there just one person responsible for the lottery?
The speaker is the one who draws the names and keeps the box, and I'm the one who enforces it. Both of us are present when he brings the box, and I inspect it for any tampering, and then we draw the name. Between the both of us, there is no tampering. There is a lot of talk of people trying to get out of it. Maybe it's not as fair as it should be, but those such rumors are not true. Between the both of us, we make sure it is as fair as we can.
I appreciate your honesty. Thank you. Can I do some sort of an insight or something check on her?
Yeah. What are you looking for? Just.
I want to see if she is being honest about the possibility of there being no tampering, or if maybe she has her own doubts.
All right, go ahead.
Ah, crap.
Let's see. She rolled just as poorly. You're not quite sure one way or another. Can't really get a good read on her. You think she's being truthful, but you're not entirely certain.
Okay, that's fair.
She rolled basically an even number with you. I think I might have mentioned before, but when I do contested checks like this, I do it based off the difference. Within 5, it's not. You don't find out one way or the other. They didn't hide it, but you couldn't tell, kind of thing.
That sounds good.
And that being said, natural 20s are not automatic successes, so because I do contested checks like that. So even if you roll a 20, I do give you a bit more of a, like, I add a few more to it for being a nat 20. But yeah, contested checks like that, nat 20s aren't automatic successes, and this is if you all are trying to check with each other like this, this is how we'll kind of do things as well.
Okay. So I can't really tell. I assume Katerina assumes she's telling the truth because, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Very well, Imbra. Thank you very much. We will be in contact again soon, I hope.
Alrighty.
And I'll make sure that everybody knows what little I found out. Jenna had made enemies, but none that anyone thought might kill her. But apparently so many leads that it is difficult for the guards to track them all down. I still think we should head to the next town. Targo.
Yes, definitely.
Aeson seemed to be chomping at the bit, as it were, to investigate the tracks. Did anything come of that?
If we can catch the trail before it turns cold.
Yes, indeed. We should probably get going.
Lead away, Ison.
Do you want me to search for tracks, or what? How do you want to do this?
Well, that's fine. Well, they've already done their own sort of investigation and told you it was an axe beak in a sled, and they headed out towards the east way, and considering the connection to Targos all this has, that it's pretty much that way.
All right. Well, we'll head in that direction and see if we find anything, any unusual axe-beak tracks.
Alrighty. So, what are you trying to figure out with the survival?
Oh, just if it's an obvious trail that leads, if it does lead towards Targos or if it leads off somewhere else.
Alrighty. So as you start to head out of town, a bit of snow fell, but you can still see the clear tracks of an axe beak with a sled being pulled behind it, heading out this way. Seems to be followed by a complement of footsteps. With all the commotion, it's hard to tell about how many people, but it's definitely more than a couple. In order to pull off this kind of job, it probably was a couple of people, so it's kind of easy to suss out, I suppose. But as you head out of town, still plenty of... We did all this in the morning, so I assume you would head out when twilight breaks out. So you have 4 hours of travel. And we've... Go ahead and give me survival, and we'll see how that ends. Survival or investigation. Investigation's kind of an all-purpose kind of thing. Alrighty. So you can tell there's definitely 3 people. So as you head out the east way, there's definitely 3 people. With a pulled by a axe-beak sled, something heavy, which you can pretty much assume was the cauldron. And no one else should have been leaving through the night, but you do see a few other footprints. They're smaller, a bit heavier too, and they actually branch off towards Sierra de Naval.
Invisible dwarves.
Oh,
Invisible dwarf. Oh, yes, I'm interested now. Let's just do this one.
Yep, Elaine told you can do your set out in your investigation any way you want to. She'll eventually head out to Bryn Chender herself once her friend is recovered, so you're free to do what you want. Pursue this investigation however you want. Even if you want to go to other towns and help people out, that is your call. You know where the cauldron is at. It's not going anywhere.
It's not that big anyway. Not a cauldron that big anyway.
So, I think it's best for me to how I want to plan. You do have the tracks of these invisible dwarves heading upwards. So, are we on the East Haven map? We are. We will just polygon line. See them heading up, actually past the White Lady Inn. And the other... Stop that. As the other tracks head on out towards Targos, which is the next part of your investigation for, well, one of the next places of your investigation, because Bryn Shandor also has sacrifices, though there's not a murder there. That's what the last party connected to this whole cold-hearted murderer, is that he's doing something with the town's sacrifices. So what would you all like to do so we can kind of prepare on for the next game? Do you want to investigate the invisible dwarves? Or would you like to pursue your missing cauldron?
Personally, as a player, I'm really leaning towards those invisible dwarves.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Is it possible the dwarves are here in town somewhere? Is that
Well,
Mavis is clearly interested in the dwarves.
alrighty. So, is this a unanimous decision? Do we want to investigate these dwarves?
I say so. That gives me a week to come up with some sort of reason why Honey would want to do it. She's motivated mostly by her pockets and her stomach, so...
Alrighty. Well, then I'll leave you with this last bit of information. These invisible dwarves, the path goes up, but it comes back in, and let's see, comes back into town, and towards the East Haven docks, specifically the East Haven ferry. The abandoned East Haven ferry that's been shut down for quite a while because there's just no business on a frozen lake.
Right, but perfect cover.
is there any is there any place on the dock, like buildings or anything, or is it pretty visible that, can we see them, anybody there?
You can see the dock, and as you kind of wander about, you can definitely see it from the pier. The dock is pretty large. It seems to accommodate a large amount of passengers. The ferry is a larger boat, so you can tell it did a lot of business in its time. A few signs, just say the East Haven, the famous ferry. The let's see. Just says the ferry service, and across it is written on a little sign, halted. It's a little keel boat is what it is, a decent sized one actually. It's supposed to transport people from Sierra de Naval and Sierra Koenig. You see, for a bit of a fee, you see like a little, like when the boat ferries running to which town. Let's see, what else? You do see it from the pier. It's not hard to spot. And does look like it's been abandoned for some time. Quite a bit of snow is built up onto this dock. It hasn't been tended to or kept up with. Let's see. But the
Are there
wet trout
fresh tracks? Small-footed fresh tracks.
There's a from last night. You can see some going to it, but not back out. Let me find someone here. There's Ronaldo. There's yeah. You all actually met a man in the Wet Trout Inn. Not the Wet Trout. Name was Scython, who you recognize this name specifically because you see his name attached to the board. Scython was the man you met in the Wet Trout.
Right.
And Honey knows him specifically because that's where he likes to spend all of his free time, complaining that his ferry shut down and what's he gonna do for money.
That's right, he was there talking with the owner when we brought in the cauldron.
Mhm.
Oh no, this is my fault!
But I think this is a good place to end it. We've already moved on past the time we should have ended by like 30 minutes, but I wanted to end us on that and get us pointed in a direction so I know how to prepare for next week.
Oh, well, that was very intriguing, the whole thing. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Very nice. Very nice.
very happy with this session.
I mean, I didn't know where we were going at some point because there were so many leads. That was fun.
Yeah, you all managed to hit every single one of them too. Like, if you just didn't ask, you just walk right on past them. But you actually hit every single one of them.
Nice.
That was good. I mean, you know.
East
Boy,
Haven
I'm
has
so
like
good at this game.
East Haven.
100% run.
What?
I said it's a 100% run. Here we go.
I mean, it is an option. The game assumes by the end of chapter 1 you've only done half of East Haven, so you actually miss out on a lot of quests. But a lot of them has them as either connected, branches off, or has some sort of connection with East Haven. And I liked that because, like, if we had a really diligent party and just wants to investigate all day, then they can find like at least 4 different quests here.
Yeah. I really like this. Thank you for running it.
I have heavily modified it a bit. The cold-hearted killer is supposed to be a one-session kind of quest, but I've broken it up and made a bit of a storyline.
I like that.
Kind of connects you to Targos, because if you did the thing with the cauldron, it would lead you to Targos anyway. So I figured, yeah, the cold-hearted thing has a thing going with Targos too. Let's just kind of mesh these together.
The plot thickens.
Yep. But the cold-hearted killer is supposed to be like a one-off quest. It's supposed to be the starting quest. However, this starting quest is so dangerous. Like, I don't see how any party does it and does not die. So I figured it'd be a good overall quest.
The cauldron thickens.
Yeah. But that's gonna be it for today. I'll let you know on the schedule next week. It'll probably be the same, honestly. An hour late start, running for about 2 hours.
Alrighty.
Now, is this stopping time bad for anybody? Like, if we're starting an hour late, does ending at 1:30 rather than 1, does that conflict with anybody else's schedules? Because this actually felt like a decent session length. So if we could keep ending at 1:30, that would be very nice.
I'm open. Whatever works for everybody is fine with me.
I try to have about 3-hour session. This is about 2.5. This was just such a really good stopping point for us that this is kind of where I wanted to end it. Next, I mean, each time we'll get about 1 o'clock. I'll ask if we want to keep on going on for another hour, and if we do, we'll continue on. But this was a good stopping point for us, so this is where I wanted to end us out. Gives me time to prepare for the next quest.
Oh yeah, this was great. I'm West Coast, so it's still, 10:30 for me.
Alright, I've got our little lobby music. This is my little lobby music I've got.
Oh, thank you for the music. It really got me into it, especially during the seance and a couple other points, like during the investigation of the little ice house fishing shed. The music really added to the ambiance. I got a little excited. It was.
I've been having the music playing, but the only good ways I found to get my little sound pad to play back into Discord was through a weird way to rig a mic and a sound source, but it made both things muffled, and I figured that was going to be absolutely horrid when it comes to actual quality of everything.
It was fine. It's just to have a little background keeps things it kept a mysterious tone to the whole thing, and whatever you played seemed fitting throughout the evening, so it kept it a little tense and exciting.
So the music didn't actually load for me